So it's an interesting session. I don't know how many people from True Blue NGOs are there, but I have a panel here where there's a lot of experience from an NGO point of view, which is both implementing and understanding from a strategy point of view. It serves well for the topic that we have today. And it's a topic that a lot of you will relate to as well. What I wanted to do is, we have 60 minutes, close to as what we have been instructed by the principal, that we will go around and do the introductions first. Then we'll go through first round of questionnaire and a few more questions. But we'll keep the discussion or shape up the discussion in such a way that the idea is to keep you engaged, so that when we reach to that last 7 or 10 minutes, we will have some questions from the audience, and the panelists that I have are more than capable to answer those questions as well. So with that said, I would like to start with the intro round. We'll go this way and then I'll introduce myself at the end. Let's start with Sumit.
Hello everybody. Okay, I thought I can project. I'm Sumit Ravla, and I belong to an organization called Community Pure Water. Community Pure Water is a steward and protector and manager of one of the most essential resources of life, which is water. We all need air, food, and water to have a decent and comfortable life. And we're dealing with human development and all of the negative impacts of that, based on all of our conversations earlier today, air pollution and air pollution struggles, how difficult it is to clean. Food is also polluted with all the pollutions we've put into our environment and into our groundwater that actually helps you grow the food. And then there's water. Water itself carries all the pollutants. It's the carrier, it's the distributor of the pollutants that we put in. And we have to drink that water. We are so fortunate that we are able to afford water that's highly treated. But there's a lot of populations that are not able to access that kind of water. The numbers are staggering. The cost to health, the national cost for health due to polluted water is in the range of 470 to 600,000 crores every year. It's an indigestible number. But can you imagine how large that problem is? The solution is very simple. Give properly treated water to the communities that cannot afford it. All of us have, look at all our water, it's treated with RO, right? So what we are doing is we are implementing community level, what we call a micro utility. We function as the water service department, water department of the village. We provide clean water, we do the filtration, we work with the panchayat in partnership, and we provide this service for life. It's a perpetual service. You need water every day. You need water 100 times a day. So it's available constantly, 24/7, 365 for perpetuity. So that's the model we work in.
Awesome, thank you.
Hello. Yeah, this is Aniket Salvi, teacher by profession and the founder president for Rajni Foundation India. Okay, talking about us, we as an organization, we are working for the upliftment of the first generation learner. Okay, that too much more specific into the rural and the tribal parts of Maharashtra, and more dominantly into the western part of Maharashtra. So what we exactly do, we try to be a bridge between the opportunities and the underserved communities. Okay, so we have a different centers into the different talukas of the western part of the Maharashtra, and we do various surveys. We pick up the children who we think, yes, they are something who are underserved, and we try to provide them with all the opportunities, whatever we as an people living in Mumbai gets. Okay, and most probably the children which we focus on are the tribal kids, and those who are the first into the families to complete their basic schooling or their graduation. So that is certain thing what probably the Rajni has been working on. Apart from this, we are into the sports. Through sports, we are getting the students into the education, giving them an opportunity to play the nationals or in the state tournaments or in the inter-zonal tournaments. So probably the students from the rural parts, we are trying to get them over here with the help of a tie-up with the Zilla Parishads or the BMCs or the government's organization. So that is certain thing what we all have been focusing on. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Anand?
Hi, my name is my name is Anand here. I am representing Annapurna Trust. Our larger umbrella of foundations, we call ourselves as One World, One Family Foundation. Just a quick brief, we work on 3 verticals: nutrition, education, and healthcare. The Annapurna Trust works on the nutrition space. We work in providing morning breakfast or morning nutrition for about close to 1 crore children every day morning. This is our flagship program which we do. We do it with our volunteers who are there in the schools through cooks and teachers. One of the largest volunteering organization is what we have at this point of time. Close to 3 lakh members are there with us to support this program. Apart from that, on the medical side or on the healthcare side, we treat children who have congenital heart diseases, basically children who have a hole in the heart. We have 5 super specialty hospitals and we serve them basically totally free without charging them anything. Many children who come to school do not have anything to eat in the morning as a breakfast, but in the process we actually screen them and then take them to our hospitals for surgeries. And last but not the least, education is what is our core. Apart from healthcare and nutrition, we also provide them totally free education from 6th grade all the way till PhD. In this 2 key USPs are, we are one of the universities which provides absolutely free education. A free university which provides education from 6th grade till PhD, and also medical education is also free in our university. So that's about our organization. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Anand. Sarita, may I request you?
Thanks, Devesh. Thanks to all the people here in this room who are not sleepy and listening to us. I'm Dr. Sarita Subramaniam, a dentist by profession and a wildlife conservationist by conviction. I'm the co-founder and director of our NGO, Earth Brigade Foundation. Contrary to public perception, our forests are not filled with flowing rivers and gushing waterfalls. Many parts of the forest and many forests have completely dried up water bodies in summer. Animals struggle to get drinking water. Now, traditionally, they would move from one part of the forest to another part of the forest which had water, but we humans are blocking their migratory corridors. So they are left with a do-or-die situation in summer, and they move towards human settlements in search of water. And then the inevitable conflict happens. Through our flagship project, Aquarius, we provide drinking water for wildlife in the safety and security of the forests. And we have done this we have done 205 installations since January 2018. I'm proud to mention that we just completed our 205th installation. We have worked across 8 states in the country, worked in 30 different forests, of which 23 are tiger-dominated landscapes. One of the things we realized through our work over the last 7 years is that while we must have started as showing compassion for wildlife, we have shown how wildlife compassion and scientific wildlife management need not be in silos. We can collaborate together with the forest department and help provide not just water, but also mitigate climate crisis, mitigate the compensation given to, the need for compensation given to, for conflict victims. We have saved the national exchequer several lakhs of rupees that it would have otherwise spent on water, on diesel, that would be used to fill the diesel water tankers and fill the water bodies. We have shown how we are actually building India's environmental infrastructure. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. I like the term environmental infrastructure. Moving on. Lek, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Lek Chailat. I am the founder of Save Elephant Foundation. So our project is the NGO, and we work for the to save the elephant. We rescue more than 200 elephants throughout Asia, but it's not just only elephant. We have more than 5,000 animals at our project. We help rescue the stray dog, cat, monkey, bear. Is a lot of animals that come to our gate. Talk about to do work for the animal conservation is not just for animal conservation. After we work and then we find out a lot of things have to do, and is everything are connected. We for our work is we work for environment, we work for education, we work for the empower women, and as well is about human resource, and a lot of things that is come on our way. Almost every day that our work get action. So when we work in Thailand, and we started from Thailand, but later that is we moved to work in Laos, Cambodia. We have a project in Laos, Cambodia, Myanmar. That is for the captivity elephant, and we work for the wild elephant in Sri Lanka. Work cooperation with the local NGO there. We work also in West Bengal to help with the human and elephant conflict. Work with the group called Jumbo Troop. Sumatra, we work in Nepal. We work in many countries in Asia. So that is our job. That is not just only for save and rescue animal, but we believe that is education will make the big impact. Our priority that is work together with many school, university, and we moved travel around the world, education to tourists, education, so many people, many groups to understand about that. Especially in Thailand, we have people travel to ride the elephant, to see the elephant circus, which is animal right and animal law still not exist. So education will make a big platform. So that's why we work for many different groups, and also we work cooperation with many of CSR company, which is I think we'll talk later. And thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Lek. All right, I'll quickly introduce myself and then we'll start with the session. Hi, my name is Devesh Verma. I lead the Ola Foundation. Our focus or our work revolves at the intersection of public health, livelihood, technology, and human-centered design. Domains that, and culture and heritage, of course, and these are the domains which basically shape the identity and also give a lot of opportunities to the community. So our focus mostly is to help create prosperity ecosystems. And when I say prosperity ecosystem, we mean that social progress does not happen in parallel, but it's integral to the part of how the governments or the corporates or academia and the community thrive together. That's what our focus is. With that, I want to kickstart our session, which is around, like I said, it's a topic a lot of you from the NGO world will resonate with. I have the unique opportunity to, having sat on both sides of the table, so I see both the perspective as well. And we will sort of glean out various other aspects of how do the NGOs look at, or the challenges that NGOs face in securing CSR funding. Now, we will build the argument in such a way so that we look both sides of this story. The first session will go towards how each of my panelists look at what they do from the lens of the topic that we have, and we'll delve deeper into the subject. All right, so let me start. Sumit, my first question is to you. Given the scale that is required for the work that you do, especially in the water systems, and you have been working with CSR and CSR organizations as well, what I want to understand is that what are the key gaps that you see from a CSR funding cycle which make the long-term partnership difficult? Would you please throw, based on your experience, some light on this?
Sure. Thank you for that very relevant question. In our experience, in our kind of work we do, it's not a short term. I put a school, I educate a few people, and I kind of, put them through a very practiced and already proven method. And these children go out and carry on with their lives. what we need to look at is to develop, to implement systems that are water utilities for the village. That means it's an infrastructure, first of all, and then it's a continuous service, second of all, right? And it's a manufacturing kind of a unit. It's processing water every day, continuously for hours together. So it needs servicing also. And the last piece that's needed is adoption and behavior change and understanding for the community to know that we have this phenomenal opportunity to be able to change our lives for the better. So there's a long period which requires what we call patient capital, and for starting up, we would like our CSR organizations to give us sufficient lead time to build this, just doing surveys, identifying locations that are really the most in need. All of that takes a good period, 3 months or so. And then once you build partnerships with the village, because we work in total partnership with the panchayats, we need to build those, we need to convince them, we need to work with the village leadership on the politics in the village. The field level, all of us know, is like every village is different. There's no one size fits all. So the setup itself takes from zero to commissioning and running the water plant. It takes easily sometimes 6 months. So there's a patience that's required. So we need early commitments. So that's one thing we want. And then we need long-term commitments, which needs to go beyond the 1-year vision that typically a CSR will do. A lot of CSR corporation functions in corporations are now looking at least 3 years. And there's a whole government structure also that comes in the way that says you can't do 10 years. Because we are looking at doing 10 years agreements with the panchayats, which are renewable for every 5 years. Our work is perpetual. So that long lens is what we're looking, seeking from our CSR counterparts, our partners in this work. So just switching from this, okay, it's 31st March, I need to kind of invest I just got a grant yesterday because they have to complete X amount of rupees by 31st March. So we've learned our lesson, and the way we kind of address this is to start doing the surveys on our own funding. We are very fortunate that we have a stream of funders that are unrestricted. It's not for you implement these villages. It's for planning. It's doing the groundwork for identification. So we have we have like a waiting list. And once you've educated the community that this is going to be good for you, they are desperately waiting. They keep knocking on our door. When are you starting? When are you starting? So that's a challenge, and that's the solution that we've come across. That if CSR engages with us in their January, February timeframe, when they are planning their next strategies, when they're planning their budgets, that's the best time to engage and to have this long vision. That's particularly what I'd like to add here.
So let me quickly also build on that. So you said infrastructure, and you also sort of talked about building lifetime community assets through the work that you do. Now, building a lifetime asset is a time-consuming process. CSRs do not have that view of, they don't have a view of 367th or 368th day. The view sort of ends at a 365th day. So how do you then enable them to see that extra mile or the long-term view of building a community asset? One, takes time, takes capital, but it also helps them in building their brand and building their presence as well through a very critical element of life, which is water.
So, it's a lot of advocacy and a lot of discussion, and this has to go, our conversations start most likely at the CSR head level, or they come top down from the C level of the organization, and we need to help them understand this vision. It's a long, I might say a long partnership development cycle. It takes me and my team about 1 year of interaction with different layers in the corporation to get them to understand this point of view. And we are a long-term player, so we don't even bid on or ask for grants where people say, I want something short-term and I want to do it and I want to go away. So that's one aspect. We have to choose what we can do right? And the struggle is on, and it's, I hope more and more CSR managers and leaders will see this point of view that to bring systemic change, you have to take a very long-term view. And this is a system change. And any other themes, all the SDGs that you're looking to develop and change life on our planet, everything depends on safe water. Without safe water, nothing will work, right? Everything you do will have a lesser value than otherwise. Education, absenteeism grows 6% every year if you don't have clean water. So those are the things that we want to, we do a lot of advocacy with CSR. We tell them that we are covering all of your themes. It's not just one theme. My first thing when I go and say, this is what we do, they say, oh, we don't do water, we don't do safe water, we do education, we do women. Get out of that, view. I really appreciate what you say, that you're doing a 360 view, you work at an intersection of various themes, and that's the kind of view that will change how we do better service to the communities that we're working for.
Cool, thank you. I'm going to take the question to a different side. While what Sarita said also talks about how she sees the challenges with CSR and the funding aspect, I'm going to switch to and go to Sarita. That's a completely different domain she operates in, and if you had listened to what she said in the introduction, she deals with the animals or the wildlife and the environment. So my question to you, Sarita, is that while your project or the work that you do through your foundation has a huge element of wildlife, some element of human or community, what I wanted to understand is how do CSRs typically look at these two different aspects? Not many CSRs are true, in a true blue fashion focused on animals. They still will see community. So how difficult or easy it is for you to create a compelling CSR narrative for fundraise?
I would take it from where Sumit ended. If she's struggling to provide drinking water, safe drinking water for humans, you can imagine the struggle we go through. We have to convince not just CSR, but even our donors, that there is a huge water scarcity inside the forest. It's the elephant in the room nobody wants to really address or talk. But it doesn't come, I don't think we should look at it as environmental outcomes, wildlife conservation, or we live in a world which is based on the tenet Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. So wherever there is life, we have to look at it as concerning us. So if there's a tree which is being cut in Greater Nicobar, it should affect us here in Mumbai, because we know that the forests are our source of drinking water. You remove the water from the forest and we will have water crisis. So if we have to ensure that we will have drinking water for the rest of our lives, and future generations will have water scarcity, water security for them, we have to ensure that there is water inside the forest. Now, the way I would look at it is that while earlier, 2-3 years back, there were very few CSRs supporting. But like again Sumit said, we also got a huge funding as far as us NGOs is concerned from a corporate, a bank, and they have asked us to, of course, do 26 installations in the short period of February and March. And we have taken up the challenge and we intend to do it. But this shows how corporates now understand that we are building resilient infrastructure. I mentioned, Devesh, I mentioned environmental infrastructure. I believe that like India is now doing a lot of infrastructure projects because we want a developed and progressive nation, the same thing should happen with our rich Indian natural heritage. We need to fund beyond the boardrooms, coming into the forest to ensure that our environmental infrastructure ensures that there is human preservation. Wildlife conservation is not charity. And I do believe there is no true altruism in the world. If I am actually providing drinking water for wildlife, it will seem like it's noble, but no, I'm only securing my own future. I need drinking water, and so I provide drinking water for the animals. We also mitigate climate change because we are changing the modality of drinking water. And from the diesel-based water tankers that were used by the Forest Department to provide drinking water. A lot of corporates now see a lot of merit in being more sustainable, using a renewable source of energy like solar energy. And I think solar energy is very good in India simply because it is abundantly and freely available when we need it the most, that is in summer. So I see a paradigm shift where corporates now are looking at supporting NGOs like us who work directly in wildlife conservation and not take and consider wildlife, forest, biodiversity all as primary stakeholders of their grants. Thank you.
Cool. But will build on that further as well. You said that, yes, you got some funding, and I want to build from there. So how do you then, or what would you recommend to the NGOs? Because there is a lot of outreach which starts happening right when the fiscal year is about to come close, because unutilized budgets and all of that. But at times it's also reactive approach as well.
Yes.
But how do you then look at opportunities like these and build a better narrative for CSRs to understand that there is a need? It's not just felt need, but there is a definite need to invest in the environmental side, so that it's not a reactive decision from their side, which puts a lot of pressure on the NGOs as well.
Absolutely right.
Right. So how do you then look at building that capability in the CSR, that build this muscle so that you understand our work better?
See, that's chicken and egg. I think if I had gone to the corporates when we had done just 5 installations in maybe one state, I don't think they would have even allowed us a foot in the door. But what we have seen is that we have shown the corporates that the model of using solar-powered energy to provide drinking water we fulfill 4 different UN SDG goals. These ESGs all align with the corporates. But what we have seen is that the corporates see the body of work we have done. So if there is any other NGO who would like to follow what we are doing, I think the direct approach is always the best approach. And you need to have something to show to the corporates that, look, we have done this and we are capable of doing that. Support us. And like Sumit said, we unfortunately don't get long-term results. Now, project reports that are asked out of us quarterly basis, monthly basis, we cannot generate that because we work in restricted areas inside the forest, and the forest department is often very guarded. Rightfully so, because poaching and security for the forest and wildlife is a serious concern for them. But I feel they also need to open up. It's not just the corporates. I think tali do haath se bajti hai. Both the corporates and the forest department have to come to the middle ground and have direct interventions inside the forest. Unfortunately, the results are long term. It's not over 1 year or 2 years. For us to realize that, we have drinking water now in Mumbai coming from Tansa, it's because Tansa's forests are protected. And if the water runs dry in the forest, our cities will run dry too. So,
Wonderful.
yeah.
So that means while you're addressing the problem for the elephant in the jungle, we have to figure out ways to address the elephant in the room as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
So a lot of advocacy, awareness. Most people sitting here too will not know, because they have seen all the animals on social media and Discovery and other channels, and not realize that it's a real struggle for animals inside the forest. And it's not just the animals, even our frontline forest staff, they also struggle to get basic drinking water. And a large part of our resource always is towards this frontline staff. They are a protection force just like our army or our police force or a railway protection force, but they are the least respected, unfortunately, I must say this, in the society, though they play a huge role in the protection of our forests.
Awesome. All right. So we'll now jump from water to food, and my next question is for Anand. When you look at the work that you do from a CSR point of view, and specifically the topic that we have from a funding point of view, how do you then align CSRs to a domain which is operations heavy, which involves food, which involves delivery? How do you bring them to agree to fund an activity or initiative like this, which is spread across multiple different states and cities and villages?
Basically, this is just for general perspective to understand a bit more to answer the question. Just to give you a bit of stats, it's very important that all of us know the stats. The current annual budget for India is released at 50 lakh crores. And just to tell you, we have 3 different verticals over here. On my left, I have water. On my right side also I have water. And I also have something on wildlife conservation. So just to tell you, on education, the budget which has been released is 2%. On water, the budget which has been released is 2%. And also on rural development, it is 2%, which accounts to about 1 lakh crores in each of these verticals. There are 3 verticals which take the major share. First is finance, second is defense, and the third is railways. Yes, all the 3 are important, but look at the way we have kind of prioritized which is the most important for us: education, health, nutrition, water. These are certain things which require help. Now, this is my value addition when I go to corporate partners. When I speak to them, we need you to help us out to ensure that more and more children come out to become better individuals for our future India in all the 3 formats: nutrition, education, and healthcare. So when we go and talk to corporate partners, the first question which they ask is very, very focused: what is the one important USP you will achieve by doing this nutrition program? Here, I am saying very specifically, many children, you can even go and ask rural children, there is nothing like a definition called breakfast. Your nashta and your breakfast is not the definition which is there in many of the school children in rural schools. They have only 2 meals, the lunch and the dinner. And it's a fact. And you know, the breakfast is the most important meal of the day. So our USP is we need to coin this word called breakfast in rural villages. When they get up in the morning, they should have something to eat before they go to the schools. And that's what we are trying to do. In the process, we are making it a point for the public policy makers in the central government and state government to implement the breakfast program. This is the most important thing which can be made as a mandate in their policy. Now, coming back to numbers, the same 1 lakh crores which is actually given for education, the amount of money which is spent for midday meals in India is 12,000 crores, which is about 12% of it. So when the midday meals is being provided this much budget, based on whatever we do as a service activity, all you need to do is add another 1,000 crores or 2,000 crores to make it like a morning breakfast and a afternoon meals program. But for that to happen, again to answer Devesh's question, corporate partners are needed. All of us have to come forward, make a policy so that the central government understands and make it a program which is more viable. So till the time we address 11 lakh schools, which has 11,000 or I would say 11 crore children, our work will not stop. And eventually our idea is to see to it that maybe 10 years down the lane, it becomes a central government and a state government driven program. And we just become catalysts. All of us over here on the stage are also catalysts only. How long she will be looking at covering the world conservation or water projections and all. We only become catalysts in this whole process.
Right. I also wanted to go deeper a bit in terms of what you cited. While the numbers, of course, give a clear picture as well. But imagine if you're an NGO sitting in a corporate boardroom trying to present this strategy to the CSR board or the committee of theirs. The problem that you're solving for is unique. You're not solving for midday because government is doing it. You're solving for a very essential aspect of meal, which is the morning breakfast meal, right? In my travels across various states, what I've seen is that mothers who get up in the morning don't have time to cook. The easiest meal is a 5 rupees ka Parle Ji ka packet.
Correct.
But you're solving for that.
Yeah.
Now that is something a lot of CSRs will not understand.
Correct.
So how do you solve for why, for the WHY for them to then look at it as a viable funding opportunity?
Yeah, it's a challenging question for me also. It's not an easy thing to convince corporate partners about a nutrition program. There are 3 disadvantages. Let me also tell that part of it. Because we are dealing with food. At any point of time, if something happens to the child, the onus comes on the trust like us and also the CSR partner. That could be one of the reasons many of the partners generally are not so towards it. But at the same time, there are many more partners who help us. I have right here Mr. Krishna ji from Scient. We have Shripad Satyaprat over there, Spurs Foundation. We also have Ankit over here from Narayana Health. And Microsoft, Mr. Kishore. All of us are supporting us. The second thing which I would like to say as a kind of a challenge is when we talk about nutrition as a thing, like what he mentioned, right, many of these children's parents go to school, go to the work early morning, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So this whole thing of giving nutrition is still not yet registered in the corporate partners. They only think midday meals. Midday meals is a standard program. Let's go with something which has already been, why should we venture into the second thing? And the third and most important is, while we talk about these two challenges, the third challenge is corporate partners want to see that they can do employee volunteering. Now, if you do employee volunteering in Chennai or Hyderabad or Bangalore or anywhere in Delhi or Mumbai, it's perfectly okay. Now, if I come back and say, please come to a place, let's say we are in Maharashtra, come to a place in Ahmednagar, okay, or come to a place in Amaravati, they can't come. They look for the challenges which they have in the distance travel. So these are certain reasons why sometimes we are not able to convince corporate partners to it, because they will look at alignment with the surrounding areas, nearer places where they can do volunteering programs.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I'm going to switch it up now, and I'm going to come to Aniket. So we have heard topics related to water and food. But I want to go to Aniket now, because that's where all of this come together as well, because he looks at a very extremely different aspect of the tribal children or tribal women or tribal girls in terms of education, but he also uses sports as a modality where you need clean drinking water and you need quality food for these women to have, or the girls to have the strength to do what they are doing. Now, that's a unique space and a unique problem that you're trying to solve, Aniket. So purely if I look at how do you then give the right information to the CSRs for them to understand that this is a good opportunity to fund which is solving for a segment of Indian population, which is 10% of the total population of India, which is tribal. What makes them prioritize this?
Okay, thank you. Probably when we started this particular organization, Rajni Foundation India, a decade ago, okay, we had a pure motive of supporting the kids who are the first generation learner, okay, and when we started supporting them through providing them with the basic necessities or certain things, okay, whether it is an education fees or the basic stationery, educational kits and everything. One thing what we realized when we talk about those kids, okay, whether it is a tribal community or whether it is an underserved community, it is not always about the financial thing, okay. Many of the time, it is like even after providing, I think so many of us might have even experienced this, after even providing all the aids, almost all the aids to the community or to the community we serve, still we do not get an outcome whatever we require, okay. And looking this thing from the corporate partners angle, okay, which they look, yes, what is the impact, what you have been creating, okay. So here, if I'm supporting someone, currently we are supporting more than thousands of people in the Western Maharashtra, and all of them are the first generation learners. Okay, so while supporting those particular community, what we realized in our initial years, it is not certain thing just by providing the funds or by providing the fees, stationery and everything, they will be continuing their education. We had a huge failure, like completely 100% dropouts after 8th standard, 100% dropouts after the SSC board exams. Then certain thing what we realized, it is not only about this, we need to change the mindset of the community who are the first generation learners. So the point is how to change the mindset of the community. On the one hand, we have a community who has been depressed, and on the other hand, we have our partners who are looking for the reports at the end of the year. Okay, so while talking about this particular communities, it is like first what we thought, we need to connect with them. Okay, it is not providing with the essentials. We need to connect with them. We need to make them believe that we are one of you all. Okay, and in Rajini, but 90% of the people who are working, okay, they are working purely on a voluntary basis, and again, those people are the first generation people who have been the first in their families to complete the graduation. So we started taking all those people and we started putting those people on our centers. So what happened on those centers, rather than for teaching, we started calling them for playing. Okay, we started providing with all the sports items. We started providing them कि कबड्डी किस तरह से खेल से. One of my friend who is over here, he is a national softball player. So we started playing. We started introducing such games to them. So it became for them कि हम लोग को स्कूल खेलने के लिए जाना है या हम लोग को सेंटर पे खेलने के लिए जाना है. There are new games or some of the even we have one program which goes like a midday meal program. We call it as an एक निवाला और. So in those एक निवाला और initiative, we introduce them with like आज बिरयानी लाया या कुछ अलग फ्रैंकी लाया. So whatever we have been eating over here, we are introducing. So for them it is like कुछ नया मिलने वाला है या नया खेलने मिलने. तो rather than for taking education, they started for playing with us. And then the bond started becoming amongst us की हाँ बाबा दादा, like in Maharashtra we say दादा आले किंवा ताई आले, तर दादानी सांगितलं स्कूलमध्ये जायचं तर स्कूलमध्ये जायचं किंवा ताई बोलते की स्कूलमध्ये जायचं स्कूलमध्ये जायचं. We are not supposed to drop out. Okay, right now we are sitting in the Bandra. Okay, if I just give one of the examples, which is just 60 to maximum 65 kilometers away from this in rural Thane, the villages is called Fulorepada and Pisepada. Both of them are the tribal hamlets. Okay, you all will be surprised to know this. Since the day of the independence till 2020, not a single child from the entire both the hamlets have even appeared for the SSC board exam, which is a basic 10th examination. Okay, somewhat we adopted them somewhere in the year 2015. खेलने लग गए, कूदने लग गए, converting those बोलते ना sports arena into the educational arena and making them interest towards both the education, asking them to appear for the exam. And today those kids, okay, are are into the final year of their graduation. 2 जन IT में कर रहे हैं, okay, and 3 जन commerce में BCom में कर रहे हैं. And by looking at them, everyone in the extremely sorry, okay, everyone in the hamlets are taking up the higher education. Okay, so this is what a cycle we have been creating, so that the students get introduced to the education. And in the meanwhile, introducing sports, luckily what we found, there were many of the tribal children or the children, whatever we saw, were good into a certain sports. Okay, like few of us, again, one of our student is currently playing at nationals in kabaddi for India, and one of the another students recently, I just showed her her success. He recently played the softball for Mumbai University team. So this is what has been an encouraging factor, and this is what is going round and round. Ki yes, first generation, first batch hua, second batch hua, third batch hua. Now, rarely I visit those padas, but the students who are into the graduation, who have been one of the first batch, जिनको like 12 साल पहले या 10 साल पहले हम लोग ने adopt किया था, okay, they are running the entire cycle over there. So that is what probably we try to see. And one thing, we literally have a diverse initiatives. Okay, we work into the primarily to the education sector, but in the same time we try to focus on different sectors too, because what we personally feel, and sometimes even I think so Sumit have mentioned that कि if we are here to provide the service, okay, मैं ये नहीं बोल सकता if someone is coming for and help for me, भाई मैं ये देखता नहीं है. Okay, yeah, we do not take care of the health thing, we do not take care of educational thing, this food thing. So if what we believe in, if someone is facing a malnutrition issue in a particular village, my primary focus should be on malnutrition rather than providing education over there. Okay, so this is how probably we have been running, and started this particular initiative from the Thane districts only, and primarily we are majorly focusing on Maharashtra, because probably whoever is working with Rajani, okay, having a simultaneous profession. I'm a professor at Bhavans College, okay, Andheri, and
Aniket,
yeah.
I'll have to cut you short because I want to give leg time as well. But that's good to understand that how the challenges that you have seen and looked at, the problems that you're solving for, you have built it in such a way that you can take that to the CSRs and give them that this is what my unit of change is. if I'm looking at a tribal girl child, that's my unit of change. That's my cost structure, and that's the activity I do, and build a narrative around it, which I'm sure CSRs must have bought as well. So that's good to know. Leg, I am going to come to you, but with a slightly different question, because you are, again, working in the conservation space. But I want to hear from you the success story aspect of it. While you have been, the space you are in, there is no short-term impact. Impact always is a long-term when you talk about the space you are in. Now, how do you, or could you show us or tell us or give us examples that how have you worked with CSR funding partners to create an interest into sustained funding of your program, and give us success stories and also ideas of how NGOs can build the narrative like you to have a sustained CSR partnership?
Thank you. To work for the animal conservation, sometimes it's not easy to find the fund, and we don't expect to get help by government. So it's a lot of time that we challenge a lot with the situation. But to work for the conservation, to work for the NGO, we have to get our action, our activity to show our partner. We have to work with many company, CSR company. And I believe that when we get help and support by big company, we get help by from Microsoft, Google, TikTok, help by the big fashion company like Hermes or cosmetic Chanel. We have many company help us, and they are a long-term support to us. The reason that is we keep relationship like that because of from our action. And we know that when people help us, they be our partner. They want to be proud from whatever they help us. We want them to feel that we value every help from them. And we want to be represent to work for them and show them about our work. We have staff more than 500 staff, which is a big corporation, but we not use the money for administration. Myself, I have created a small company to pay for our own staff. And the money that it comes from for the CSR, we use direct to our project. In every day, that is, we can see that is, we have the job to do. Like this morning, I wake up, I open the window, I can see the climate, I can see the PM 2.5, and it's already, when we turn everywhere, we have job. So it's not just about animals. When we see the Wi-Fi at our country, in my land, we right away to go to help to stop the fire. So it's a lot of job that is when we get action, our partner, they will be happy and proud with that. So to be for work for conservation, we have to be real and pure, to show the work to our partner and to share to them in every day from our work. That is our partner, the CSR company, when they see our work through from social media and from our action, they also can use that for the company. And I know that is every one of you, I hear you, when you help any organization, you want to see the job back to your company, to your project too. So this is what we work at our organization, and we do every job that is come to our organization. It's not just only animals.
But can you also give some of the best practices that you adopt to create a narrative for CSRs to fund? It will be nice for the NGOs or NGO partners sitting here to understand how do you build a crisp narrative which is specific to a CSR.
Let me share you something about for our work. Is we not just only wait for help, we create our own activity. We help when we help local company. When we see the people in the village, then they're struggling, they want help. In Thailand, a lot of people burn the forest, And then we create the project that to plant the coffee. And then we help the people to create their own brand. And then we work together with the CSR company. And we work with the coffee company in many countries. And which is the coffee from Laos, Thailand, Cambodia, Myanmar, they have a story behind. And when the money come back, the money will go to help local community, help school, help environment in there. I want to share your story. During COVID, we have struggling a lot because the whole country crossed the border and work for animals. The elephant eat 300 kilograms a day. We have 200 elephants. And our staff, we will get lost the job. So we stand up and start to get action, and we have help from around the world. And we use that money to help many elephants. At that time, we have about 500 elephants falling down and die. And Thailand, we have about 4,000 elephants for work. So we be able to save about 2,000 elephants from the CSR company helping us during that time. And we have helped the people, farmers who cannot sell the vegetable and agriculture. We use the money to buy the food and send to the elephant throughout Thailand. And which is when we work like that, and the job is go back to the CSR company. And then this work is we share to our partner, and we work representative to them. Yes, and we value their help, and we value their money. Yeah.
Sure, thank you. So we have 6 minutes left, maybe 7, I don't know. What I would like to do is a quick rapid fire question to all of them, starting with Lek, but I want one-word answers. Because we are talking about funding and the challenges of NGOs from CSRs. From my panelists, I want one-word answers on both the sides. What do you think the CSRs, or what should change in the CSR approach, and what should change in the NGOs approach towards taking fund and giving fund? I just need one-word answer. What do you think the CSR should change?
Okay, I'm sorry, that's because I can't hear very well. Anyway, that is what CSR have to, first, HO have changed, right, first, right?
But I need one-word answers. Only single word.
One word. When you want to go to do for the CSR, the people have to do with pure heart for both sides.
I'll take that, pure heart. Okay, both sides applies. Sarita.
Resilience.
On both sides?
No, the NGOs have to be persistent. For the NGO, it would be persistence, and for the CSR, it would be resilience, to see resilience.
Okay, fair enough.
For the CSRs, one single objective. Okay, either health or education or nutrition, whatever is it, one single objective. For the NGOs, passion. NGOs have to have the passion to work for that particular organization.
I like that. The heart.
I feel perspectives.
On
Okay.
CSR's part or NGO's part?
Both the sides.
Great. That's a good answer. I like that. Sumit?
On the CSR side, I would encourage and urge a holistic long-term view, not just one piece or one slice of the solution, because everything is very interdependent.
So long-term view, holistic.
Holistic long-term
For
view.
NGO?
For NGO, clarity, and not just target everything because you're targeting every CSR organization. Be sure you're targeting the right kind of themes that CSR corporation wants to support.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so very much. I know we are almost about time. We do have a couple of minutes left. If the audience have, or any one of you has a question for any of the panelists, please raise your hand. We'll get you the mic and you can ask the question. So what are the universal challenges? Asking for funding.
If I may, most CSR goes by the definition of the themes or the sectors or the mandate given to them. They don't want, they are so myopic, they don't look at the broader picture. So I think it is lack of awareness, and I think even you have to do, on the other side, you have to do due diligence, and that task is daunting. So usually you want to take the comfort zone. Just जो भी NGO के साथ you are already done the vendor registration, continue with it, because you don't want to go into uncharted waters. Thank you.
Yeah, anyone wants to? How much time do we have, sir?
Almost done.
Almost done. Okay. He has, I mean, he's a hard taskmaster, so we are almost done. Thank you so very much. I really do appreciate the honesty. Well,
Thanks.
thank you, the panelists. It was wonderful,
Thank you, Devesh.
doing the moderation. And thank you very much for your perspective. And thank you for being the half sleepy 2 o'clock audience, which was engaging. Thank you.